Best moment. Here you go. What? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a lovely day. I have nothing pulled up. Oh, I actually did pull it up. Huh. The things you do in your subconscious. Anyways, we're finishing out the album listen of Peter Gabriel. So, we're going to listen to the last track, which is We Do What We're Told, Milgram's 37. I have no idea what Milgram's 37 is, but this is the last track on the album. Now, I didn't listen to Sledgehammer. I've heard it. I'll probably, at some point, do a review of Sledgehammer. But like I said, it wasn't really in my periphery just because I've already heard it, so I figured let's listen to tracks that we haven't heard already. But I'll probably at some point do it just to at least have a complete album listen. There is something flying. Or is that a hair? It's not my hair. All right, there was something. I'm sorry, I'm a mess right now. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here. There's been some rumors that Peter Gabriel's working on a new album. Well, you know that if that happens, I will definitely be eating that up and listening to that. But for now, let's go ahead and finish up with what we do what we're told. Milgram's 37. Let's go. Okay, so let me tell you, first of all, I actually really like this track. It's so short, it's so succinct. It reminds me of Melt, which, not that I've listened to a lot of Peter Gabriel, but Melt to me is just like the zenith of his creativity. I love that sound. This kind of has the same harshness in its sound. It reminds me in some parts of Intruder when that guitar riff comes in. It is so drony. It's so like just blunt. You know, it's sharp. It's blunt. It's to the point. It immediately establishes an atmosphere amongst the very light touches of synth that kind of just slowly work its way around. But this doesn't feel like an ending. Well, in some ways it does. I know I'm immediately contradicting myself, but in some ways it does, because this really does feel like the last bite of cake of this album. This feels like that last sweet taste in your mouth before, of course, the digestion and the cake is gone. You know, this is that last bitter aftertaste. Sweet aftertaste, but bittersweet because it's the ending. But at the same time, it feels like a little bit incomplete. I would have actually liked a little bit more out of this because I think that what was done sounded really, really nice. I liked the atmospheric singing when he came in about halfway through. Like I said, those little touches of light synth that came in. I really like the way that it builds up, and it does so pretty quickly. The drums and the percussion, I think, are also a really nice touch. Just kind of bubbling along. And then, like I said, when that guitar riff comes out, it's almost like when you see molten lava, and you see how slow the lava is running down the sides of the volcano. But then you see like the little pops of lava bubbles as it's, of course, heating up beneath the surface. You see those little tiny eruptions. That's kind of what's happening here in this track. There's, you know, the percussion, which is driving it, but there's those little pops. And that big pop is that guitar riff, which to me is just kind of malicious. That's Intruder. That's at least Melt. Something from there. But this was a really, honestly, like I said, a cool little track. That makes me wish that there was more. But on the other hand, it makes me just want to go back and listen to Melt. I mean, which is not a bad thing. We do what we're told, we do what we're told to do, we do what we're told to do. One doubt, one voice, one war, one truth, one dream. I got no idea what he's talking about. I got no idea what Milgram's 37 is. However, I do see that there is a little bit of a blurb here on Genius. It says, we do what we're told as a reference to the infamous obedience experiment carried out by Stanley Milgram. Thus, Milgram's 37 participants in the experiment, although there were actually 40. I have never heard of this particular experiment. The experiment was devised to see if it could be possible that the Nazis were just following orders. As Adolf Eichmann stated during his trial for war crimes, it involved 3 people, Milgram, an accomplice acting as a volunteer, and an actual volunteer. The volunteer would be chosen as the teacher and the actor as the learner. Milgram would give the volunteer a group of word pairings to teach the actor and then quiz the actor on them. For each wrong answer, the actor would be given an electric shock, increased by 15 volts for each incorrect response administered by the volunteer. I'm just reading. By the way, sorry, but I want to know. And I just got to read because I don't know about this. Let's see. The volunteer would be given a sample shock to make sure he knew exactly what he was doing. After a number of voltage increases, the actor would begin to scream in pain, bang on the dividing wall, and complain about his heart condition. Unbeknownst to the volunteer, these shocks were fake, of course, because this is the actor. So for all they knew, they were actually electrocuting the other volunteer. Is this like the, is it the Stanfield experiment? The Stanford experiment? There's one that starts with an S, where one group of people play the prisoners, the other group of people played the guards, and it was like an experiment to see how they would all kind of interact with each other. Who was in that movie? Is it Adrian Brody? The experiment would only end if the volunteer continued to object after a series of 4 commands from Milgram. Prodding such as the experiment requires that you must continue, you have no other choice, you must go on. In the first round of experiment, 65 of the subjects gave the final round of shocks. In the first round of experiments, 65% of the subjects gave the final round of shocks, though most were in a severe state of discomfort while doing so. At least one point in the experiment, each subject questioned what he was doing, yet more than half sought to the bitter end. This experiment was carried on in many different times in many different places, but the results remain the same. Sometimes the song remains the same. Interesting subject. So going back to these lyrics, we do what we're told because they're just doing what they're told. They're trying to remain blameless and being, they're saying that they're being forced to do this. I get that now. One doubt, one voice, one war, one truth, one dream. The ending part loses me a little bit, but I understand the we do what we're told part. I got that. I got the connection. I'm making it. Not fully, but some neurons are firing. All right. Good little track here, though. Let me know what you guys thought of the track. You can let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this album listen with me. Like I said, at some point I'll go back and listen to Sledgehammer, but it's not in my immediate vision, you know? But we'll get there. We'll get there. Hope you're having a lovely day. Follow me in a bunch of places. Blah, da, 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 da. There they are on the screen. And I'll see you later, guys. Bye.